Now on Coast TV News.
Flood protection.
We need to do something about it. Take better care.
Lewes plans to use millions to defend against rising seas.
Cruising crowds.
It's very exciting.
Ocean City with thousands of vintage rides, roaring engines, and serious revenue.
Housing push. Sussex County leaders weigh big changes to get affordable homes built faster.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
The Lewes coastline, the focus of new protection efforts. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with the city considering a multi-million-dollar fund for the environment.
From the wetlands to the beaches, the city of Lewes wants to protect all of its outdoor space. The city is proposing what's called a resiliency fund to be used to both prevent and react to natural disasters. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live there in Lewes. And Emma, the city says flooding, that's a big concern.
Maddie, as you can see, it does flood down here by the water. And the city says with rising sea levels, a resiliency fund is a tool to reduce and counter those climate threats. Waves crashing on the beach. It's one of the many perks of the first town in the first state. But as this video shows, flooding happens. Being a coastal area makes Lewes a little bit more susceptible to Mother Nature's whims. That's why Lewes wants to take money from existing sources like property taxes and parking revenue and specifically set them aside for fixing infrastructure and responding to storm damage. As a Lewes local who says she's concerned about rising sea levels and flooding risks, Barbara Smith is all for the fund.
If we want to still have a wonderful area, a wonderful earth, period, we need to do something about it. Take better care.
Lewes says they want to build a fund of $3 to $5 million in the next 5 to 7 years. The city says one of the objectives is to protect natural resources, including conservation and restoration of local ecosystems like the city's wetlands. Robin Cross visits the beach almost every day. She says a resiliency fund is important for the coast's future.
All you need is one disaster. And for Lewes being on the water between the bay and the ocean, I think they're very susceptible for just one event even to happen.
Protecting the coast with a cost. If you have any thoughts about the draft of this resiliency fund, you can submit your comments on the city's website until 4 p.m. tomorrow. Live in Lewes, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Now here's what we don't know. If Lewes will raise taxes elsewhere or any sort of funds to raise more money for this fund. We do know the city of Lewes wants the money to come from existing resources, such as a percentage of gross rental tax receipts and lodging fees, and part of it also from the Chesapeake Utilities, who runs natural gas in Lewes. Part of the money would come from their franchise fee.
Start your engines for another year of cruising Ocean City. Just like last year, the event's going to have 2 different locations that you can choose from. But one of those locations has changed. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappé is live in Ocean City. Kevin, the convention center no longer a part of this big event.
Charlie, if you want to see some classic cars, don't go to the convention center this year. Instead, you could come right here at the Ocean City Inlet or on 49th Street. This is because the event is a week earlier than usual and is now in conflict with the Beach Fest volleyball tournament that is at the convention center. But don't worry, you can still see all the cool cars in town, something one local loves to see every year.
Classic cars, the hot rods, things like this little Opal. You see all kinds of cars and all kinds of people.
Now, although today has already come to a close, Cruisin' Ocean City event as a whole has not. With Sunday being their last day, you can still check out all these cool cars before they head back in the garage. I'm Kevin Zappé, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your favorite type of car to see?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. Take a look at your screen. And 79% still say the classics, though custom builds, trucks, and hot rods getting a little bit of the vote.
And I love the classics, but I do like some of those custom builds too. You can go vote at coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. We will show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
Heading to court new at 6, the cases against former Millville volunteer firefighters Jay Droney and Jordan Hastings. Well, those cases are moving forward. Droney and Hastings' preliminary hearings were scheduled for this morning at the Sussex County Court of Common Pleas. A court official told Coast TV that Droney's hearing is continued and he'll be back in court Thursday, May 22nd. According to that same official, Jordan Hastings' attorney did a straight waiver, meaning Hastings' case automatically goes up to Superior Court. Jay Droney and Jordan Hastings face felony hate crime charges. They are accused of chasing a Millville fire employee with a noose. Delaware Governor Matt Meyer established a new office dedicated to gun violence prevention and community safety today. The new office will coordinate efforts between state and local governments and community organizations. Supporters say this comes at a critical time with too many lives already lost to gun violence.
This is our chance to pull all of the stakeholders together so that we really can be the safest state in the nation. It is an achievable goal. It is one we've been working on for years, and I have no doubt that we can get there.
Meyer's team says the office's first year will focus on assessing existing programs and identifying gaps.
And people in Seaford are hoping that the new order helps bring change after a string of recent shootings. There were 2 deadly shootings in less than a month. Many say they fear for their safety and are desperate for solutions. Seaford police tell us they are working with state police and the community to help and welcome the state government's input.
We're leaving no stone unturned in our search to improve the safety of the community, and that's why we're excited and looking forward to seeing where these additional resources and collaborative effort can go towards solving these serious problems.
Deputy Chief Justice says the department looks forward to learning more details about the state's new office as that becomes available.
The Delaware Center for the Inland Bays is holding their Coast Forward Summit right now. That's a way to connect with the community to brainstorm ways to keep our water clean. The Center for the Inland Bays says there's actually a number of ways to get involved in protecting the inland bays.
Resiliency comes from the whole watershed, the holistic watershed working together. So if I'm planting trees in Georgetown or building an oyster reef in Ocean View, both of these have really positive impacts on how our community is resilient.
Now, the Inland Bays Open House is open until 7 at the Georgetown Cheer Center, and they say just stop on by. And speaking of the Inland Bays, let's take a live look outside into Ocean View. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a check on our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. And right now we're seeing relatively calm conditions. The winds aren't so feisty at this point, but they are likely to pick up momentum going into tomorrow. Our big concern is just how dry we are, but the rain is coming to the rescue this weekend. We're at 59 degrees in Lewes, Bethany Beach, Indian River Inlet, but as you go farther inland, we're at 68 in Millsboro, Gumboro, Del Mar, 77 Seaford, 75 right now in Laurel. Here's a look at what's happening with our live radar. We're starting to see a few scattered clouds sliding through the area. Now, the atmosphere is just too dry to support the possibility of some rain really making a crossover to us. And dry, that's our big thing. I mean, elevated risk of fire spread with outdoor burning is strongly discouraged as a result of how dry it has been. And as you take a look at our chances of rain, they go on the increase as we get past Sunday going into Monday. Now, that's what we're going to be talking about during your full forecast. Till then, back to you.
Paul, the Sussex County Land Use Reform Working Group talked about affordable and workforce housing today. One idea to make more of that housing in Sussex County was to create predictable zoning and permitting paths, which consist of an expedited review for affordable projects.
The 10 stakeholders that are participating in the working group had a lot of ideas. You heard today some getting into the weeds topics, including whether or not there should be public hearings during these applications. That's an idea that has been discussed, maybe debated quite a while.
The working group says it will continue coming up with ideas which will turn into recommendations for Sussex County Council by the summer.
We are just getting started this evening.
All things electric cars coming to Milford Saturday, what you can expect.
And we're looking for a summer-like feel returns and not a watch out for the weekend. And we're looking at pesky cutoff low for next week. But the bottom line is this: summer-like sunshine and temps in the 80s with a bit of weekend relief on the way.
But first, a world of difference. The positive effect a simple act of boxing up shoes in Ocean Pines means when we're back in just 60 seconds.
It started out as a group of friends just walking around a neighborhood together, but it turned into a movement. And now it's worldwide, making a difference one shoe at a time. In today's Coastal Connections, reporter Kevin Zappe shows us what this group is doing and how you can help.
If you check your closets, you might find some forgotten shoes taking up space, but now those shoes can be used for good. You can hand them over to the Teal Bay Mitzvah team in Ocean Pines.
I think so far we've shipped out about 150 pairs in total.
Since March, Margaret Novak and her friends have been working with the Souls for Souls nonprofit organization to get shoe donations, which will provide footwear to people in need across the U.S. and around the world.
Third world countries where small micro entrepreneurs receive them and set up businesses to sell them. And these people now have a sustainable income. They go to crisis areas, many in the United States.
So where can you donate your shoes to make a difference? There are locations all spread out around Ocean Pines where you could drop off your shoes. From there, the Mitzvah team will put them in boxes, tape them up, load them in a car, and drop them off at Michael's, where they will then be sent over to Souls for good use. Novak loves all the support from Ocean Pines and hopes to see more in the future.
They can all play a role. They can all help by dropping off their shoes. And we're getting ready for the summer. It's wonderful here. But we can live here and still make a difference in the world.
On May 17th, they will be at the Ocean Pines season kickoff event where they'll be gathering more donations and reminding people that small things like a pair of shoes can make a world of difference. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean Pines, Coast TV News.
We've been a bit dry and temperatures have been escalating into the 80s, and we're expecting a couple more 80-degree days. But we really need a little rain here because we're starting to get desperately dry once again across the Delmarva Peninsula. Our Ocean City camera right now, we're at 61 degrees right now. Winds are out of the south, but we're going to stay in the low 60s for the rest of the night with partly to mostly cloudy skies. You kind of see the cloud cover staying a bit on the thick side for right now. See, it's really different feel depending on where you are. Now, beaches, 59 degrees right now on Lewes, Indian River Inlet, 58 for Rehoboth Beach. But we are in the 70s as you go inland, 70 degrees even in Georgetown, but 77 for us right now in Seaford, 75 for Bridgeville and Laurel. Winds primarily pushing out of the south. So we're talking about a little more warmth here, and this is all a setup as we roll that momentum towards temperatures being in the 80s. The winds have been playing a drying out factor in our weather and basically our weather conditions. We have small craft advisories active for us in Dewey Beach, Bottom Hills, Ocean View, South Bethany, the Rehoboth Beach, but that's not reaching down towards Ocean City. So that's not the case there. We keep a close eye on what's happening as far as the movement of a little bit of light shower activity that's close to what we would call a term a quasi-stationary frontal boundary, that mixture of cool, that's the blue, and warm, that's the red, air that's kind of keeping it a little bit waffling a little bit at this point. Now our storyline is this Friday, a summer feel, mid-80s inland, 70 along the coast with a possible afternoon-evening storm. Way over the weekend, that's when we're going to have more like widespread showers, but I'm not expecting a washout for Saturday. You see, Friday morning, 7:30, temperatures at 70 degrees uniformly across the entire area. But then we go well to the mid to upper 80s by the afternoon with more sunshine. Saturday, we start off a bit cloudy in Millsboro, for example, and 71 degrees. 71 also the starting point in Delmar and Georgetown. But we will go back into the mid-80s for a second day in a row. So 2 days of that. Then in comes the rain Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Because as you take a look at Sunday, we see scattered showers. Monday going into Tuesday, even heavier showers. And then possibly even early Wednesday morning, like 4:30 in the morning, we'll still have some leftover showers by then. That being the case, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Listen, we are expecting for the rain to kick in after 2 days of 85-degree weather. We drop by 10 degrees on Sunday, but then we pick up the rain going into Tuesday.
To Cambridge, City Manager Glenn Steckman will have office hours on Saturday, May 3rd at City Hall. He will be available from 9 to noon. You can either stop by or email him to make an appointment. Glenn says he is looking to make Saturday office hours a monthly occasion for people unable to get to City Hall during the week.
In traffic news, a detour is coming soon for drivers of Ellendale. On your screen now is that location, the crossing at Robbins Road. DelDOT says the Delmarva Central Railroad is doing maintenance there, so the road will be closed May 12th to the 15th.
Do you want to learn a little bit more about electric cars? This Saturday at the IG Burton BMW in Milford, you can learn about performance, technology, and what it's like to own an EV. The dealership says you can compare models and test features. The event takes place May 3rd at 10 a.m.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The Bayside South title is on the line today in softball. Stephen Decatur and Mardella face off with everything on the line. The Mardella Warriors are the defending Bayside champs. They've won 54 straight games against Bayside opponents, and overall they're 65-4 across the past 3 seasons. On the other end, the Seahawks come in at 15-2 on the season and winners of 5 straight. The Seahawks are led by Hofstra commit Riley Smith. Stephen Decatur last beat Mardella in 2022, the same year it won its last Bayside title. You can catch the highlights of this one tonight on The Final Score at 10:30 p.m. Season 3 of Into the Trenches continues tonight with Episode 2. We saw how the Vikings competed through training camp. Now let's take a sneak peek at what to expect in Episode 2.
On the next Into the Trenches.
You know, he's a de facto leader, right, whether or not he wants to be.
I've been playing quarterback my whole life, and I've always had to be a leader. I know they don't like what happened last year.
But the only way you're going to win is if we show them the brotherhood that we have been building since Coach Fred took this team over.
We're going we over me, we over me.
Into the Trenches, a new voyage on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN Plus, sponsored by Preston Automotive.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
If you love wine, food, and music, listen up. The 9th Annual Southern Delaware Wine, Food, and Music Festival. It's this Saturday. Oh, that looks delicious on the screen. It's happening at Shellville in Rehoboth Beach. More than 20 local restaurants will be serving food. There will be over 100 tastings of wine, cocktails, craft beer, and mocktails for those who want that. This year's beneficiaries are Sussex County Habitat for Humanity, which of course helps with affordable housing, and the Harry K Foundation, which really fights food insecurity.
Now, all that sounds great, but each Friday you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV. It is full of features, cool things to do each weekend, and of course much, much more. You can sign up now. It is free. Go to our Feel Good Friday newsletter at coasttv.com/sign up.
Well, we're signing up for some weather over the weekend that could come as a relief with the rain. But right now, we're staying very dry. Our Milford camera at 61 degrees right now. Dew point at 55. Now that the dew point temperature is creeping up a little bit higher, that's going to be a little helpful. It's taking some of the bite out of the dryness in the atmosphere at this point. And we could use that. Now, we are expecting increasing cloud cover going into the rest of the night as we stay in the lower 60s. By the way, our umbrella winner, Nate Schultz of Millsboro. Congratulations, Nate. You got to be sure to come by the TV station. All of that. Anyway, things go bump in the studio. Okay, anyway, Nate already showed up for his umbrella. Give us a chance to get off the air, Nate. We'll get it to you. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, Federico. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Starting to rain on Sunday and staying that way till we get to Tuesday.
All right, Paul, thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.